Hi Stampers, it's Rachel here from rachthestamper.wordpress.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really cool card using this stamp set called Traveler. This is in the new 2016-17 Stampin' Up catalog. And here's the card. Isn't that cool? My son just loves trains, so I promised him I would make him a train card. So what I did is I kind of made a little bit of a crazy background, and then I stamped the train in the basic black archival ink, and I went over it with clear embossing powder and I embossed it. So I don't know if you can see how shiny that is, but it kind of lends to the way that, you know, trains are nice and oiled and always very shiny. And then I thought this would be a great, like, a going away card if you were going to college or going on a trip or maybe even moving cross country. So what I did was I did a little something on the inside. I stamped the passport, and then I did the 3 stamps, and then I bumped one up on Dimensionals and popped it out with a different ink because I thought maybe that would make it look a little bit more exciting. So I'm going to show you how to make this card. Super simple. Another note, I used Smoky Slate and Basic Black, but this would be great if you used like chocolate chip and Sahara sand, because then it would have like that old antique look. So that's kind of what I was going for, like an old monotone look. So any like a brown, 2 browns or like a brown and a tan would also make a really awesome card. So let's get started. What I have here is I did this all on very vanilla, but we're going to do something a little different this time for the second card. So I have 2 pieces. One is 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. Go ahead and fold that, and then this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so we're going to stamp onto this piece. So again, we're going to use the Smoky Slate, and then we'll use the Basic Black for the train. So I just kind of have the different pieces, and what I did is I just kind of stamped off on most of them. So kind of stamped just different places just for the different stuff to kind of give a little bit of a variety. So that was the suitcase, and then we have the camera is my favorite because besides making cards, I do love taking pictures. So I want to put that not really like front and center, but we'll put that here because I do love taking pictures, especially sunrises and sunsets. And all right, one more of those over here. I don't want to get it too overwhelming. And then it took me a minute to figure out the passport, honestly. So if you see there's a little kind of slanted squiggle down here, that's the signature. So it goes down, unless you want to do it your own way, which is absolutely perfectly fine. Again, I'm not trying to overpower anything. I kind of want to just fill the space, but we do want to make the train stand out. Now, another thing you could do if you wanted to is you could stamp your train and you could fussy cut it out and pick it up. That would be another great option as well. But I'm going to do the same thing. So let me grab a little piece of scrap. Okay. Now, before I do this, one thing I am going to say, I'm going to heat this up just a minute just to make sure all the ink is dry, because if not, you might have random crazy things embossed. Okay. It feels pretty good. Okay, so I have some clear embossing powder here and the Basic Black archival ink, but you could use Stays On. You could use that, I think it's called Tuxedo ink, but I really like this ink. I think it gives a nice deep, as you can see, a nice deep black. All right, so I'm going to see if I can eyeball this a little bit better. I apologize if my head's in the way. Let me try to make this a little bit more straight this time. Yeah, gosh, it's still crooked. See, I don't like putting the stickers on the back of this because I have a hard time getting them to stick to my blocks. So again, our train is going to be taking off in the direction of the Polar Express. We're going to pretend like this is a Polar Express train and they're going up. All right, so really quick, I'm going to just go ahead and dump my embossing powder, clear embossing powder. If you still have black embossing powder, you could use that as well, but this is clear. I think at some point it somehow got mixed up with a little bit of iridescent, because there's the tiniest bit of sparkle to this. Okay, let me put this back. Ooh, you think I would have learned by now to turn off the ceiling fan? And I swear, every time you fill these jars, it's like you had more than what you started with. I mean, you can tell this one is super old. This is a really, really old clear embossing powder from Stampin' Up. So definitely worth the investment and absolutely will last you forever. Okay, so as you can see, I did sponge the edges of this. I'm going to do that again. I did that again with the basic black. I thought it made it gave it that like old kind of antique-y look. But the other thing we're going to do, and again, you can do this to your taste. Another thing you could do is you could emboss the train in the copper embossing powder. That would also look really cool. Kind of just going to give this a little bit of stamp all over just to kind of give it that old-ish look. I think up here one more time. I don't know if when you were in middle school, if you ever made a tea-stained copy of the Declaration of Independence. I remember doing that with tea, pouring it all over. It was so fun. And now look at me, I'm making cards. How hilarious. Some things don't change. Okay, so I have my base card here. All right, we're going to attach that. But what we're going to do this time is we're going to pop this up on Dimensionals. So I'm going to put 5. And I'm going to wrap a little bit of metallic thread around the card. And I think I'm going to do it vertically. So this is the black metallic thread. They also make copper. I think there's another one too, but these are the ones I have handy. I'm sure they make silver. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a little teeny piece of snail just to kind of anchor this so I don't lose it. And I know a lot of people don't really like this because it's kind of so thin, like hair almost, I guess. I don't know. I really like it. I just think I just like it because it's very delicate. And you can kind of, if you want to move this so it's together, whatever you want to do. All right, let me just put that there and nip the end of this off. Okay, one thing I do recommend though, this comes taped down and I always retape it because if not, it's a huge jumbly mess. So when I'm done, I just put that piece of tape back on there, helps it keep in place. All right, so there we have that. You could have also though, I think the copper would look really cool with this as well. The copper thread, so that's gonna just get popped up on the Dimensionals, and I think I'm going to put 2 more on just to give a little bit of stability. Yeah. All right. A little crazy. Sometimes when you heat emboss, it does get a little bit goofy. Oh, you know what I just thought of? Another thing. I wanted to do this, and I just remembered that I wanted to do this. All right. Let me try my technique here. Someone on YouTube, one of my commenters told me if you push your fingernail in, it helps to pop these little things up. And that is true. And I just continue to forget to do it. And before I get ahead of myself, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this up onto, first, a piece of Smoky Slate. And then, good heavens. And then we'll put it onto the very vanilla. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, let me just shoot this off to the side just for a second. Let's see. Oh boy. How do you like that? I only have 1 piece of Smoky Slate left. Okay, let me just trim this off real quick. All right, 5.5, and I'm going to trim this to 4. And I'm going to trim this to 5.25. Okay, just like that. All right, 1 second there. So I'm going to put this here. You know what I did? Didn't trim this off. Well, that's not going to work now, is it? Nope. You know why? Because I made it too big. Redo. This has to stay at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because I already trimmed that one smaller and it's got the tape on it. Sorry, there. Had a bit of a blonde moment. Okay, let's try this. There we go. Okay, so now we have our little edging there, and then that's going to just lay right onto this card as well. Okay, and I'm going to just put this on with some snail. And then the other thing we're going to do is just layer that right on top. Is we're going to open up and we're going to do our little, I don't know what you really call this. This is the classic label stamp that goes with the classic label punch. So this is in the Thoughtful Banners stamp set. This is another really fun one. So the classic label punch, and then the gosh, what is this called? Some banners, I can't think of it, the banner punch. So 2 different ones. So you can use different ones, or if you didn't get them, if you get them as a bundle, which you can always trim them out. So if you don't have it, don't fret. All right, so what we're going to do again is we're going to just put this onto our block. And when I did it, I stamped 3 just so I would know where I wanted to line them up. And then I popped the other one up. So we'll just do 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to do our words. And we'll switch our words around a little bit this time. So we'll do inspiring. Carefree will be down here. And then I'm still going to do the amazing in the black. And just a little piece of very vanilla here. So we're going to put the classic label stamp on again. I think I have some embossing powder on this. Okay, and we'll put our word. What do we have? Amazing is left, I believe. Correct. Make sure this is nice and straight. That's the one thing about these little photopolymer stamps. They are flexible, which is great, but if you don't want them to be flexible, not so great. So make sure you check that out before you do anything. I am going to leave the black open because I'm going to stamp one more image on the inside. So I'm going to just use this as a little handle here. Okay. And I did a little trimming ahead. I got myself a little strip of dimensional, and I'm going to put that right on there. That right up. Then I stamped that way I'd have a spot so I knew exactly where I wanted it to be stamped. And before we go, I'm going to end this one with the camera on the bottom. Perfect. Wow, that looks gorgeous. The camera has such great detail. I love that. So here are 2 versions, a little bit different on a couple parts, but pretty similar. Very easy, great for college, for someone moving, for, oh, I can't even tell you, so many different things. I hope you'll try it, and you can always switch out the images if you want your focus image, because the other thing is there's a really cool ship, and there's the globe. So you could use any of these as your center image, and maybe when you do yours, your train won't be heading towards the Polar Express like mine is. So thanks for taking time to watch, guys. Again, I appreciate all your support. If you want to get any of these supplies and more, you can hit my online store. It's open 24/7. Rachthestamper.stampinup.net. Otherwise, I'd love to hear your comments on this card. You can reach me at rachthestamper@gmail.com. Or if you go to my blog, rachthestamper.wordpress.com, you can leave me comments there as well. You can also subscribe to me if you haven't already on YouTube. You can follow me on Pinterest. And I am starting up a Facebook page, which is Rach the Stamper, and that is on Facebook, so you can follow me there as well. Thanks for taking time to watch, guys. Hope you have a great day.